Hello, this is Nathan McEwen, and this is my classes code, or the user-defined classes video. So, I'm going to be using my PSA 8 project, and I'll just be explaining that. So this is the project right here, and then this is the tester for it. Just a quick showing. This does not have a main method, so if I run it, it will not do anything. But I can run the tester, and just to show you that the tester runs and that everything on the original code was see, so this passed. So the tester writes more personal has specialized fields, constructors, and methods that tests the participant code and make sure everything is up and running perfectly how it should be. So to go through the PSA 8 code, we have the class set up, which this needs to be the same name as the file name up here, and for each of the constructors, they have to be the same. Then we come down into the fields where we set up private variables for either strings, ints, doubles, whatever we need them. I could have put these strings as private, but we put them as public, and these will be called if there's an error. So we go down to the first constructor, which it sets the the variables, the private variables, to defaults. So when we call on them later, that's what shows up. Because these are constructors, these are setting up methods. I have 3 here. The first one just sets defaults for the 3 variables, and the second one sets to 2 to default, and a third one, a new name, where if I coded in extra, I could have put in a user-defined, this variable here to here, I could have made it a user-defined parameter, which will give it a new name. And then we have a third one, which sets the name to a parameter, which I could have put in, and same with the new weight and the double, with the height, but this one now has a check. So if the weight is 0 to make sure if it's negative or not, then it puts the default weight, and same with the height. If it's negative, then it gives you the error code, and it sets the default height. And then now we have getters, which are going to be public. They can get the name of, they can go and get the variables and then return them. Same with the height and width. And then the setter, so this gets the data from the variables, and this sets them. So these methods right here is where we can set the variables to new variables. Now this does take the variables, the code directly, and then sets it to something new, so you can overwrite it. You can change this by, when you write a method underneath a main method, you could write it to create a copy of that data, and then have the setter rewrite the copy of the data, but keep the original variable. And this is just going through through a Boolean check, a yes or no, or the true or false, to see if it's negative, and this is going to go through with the height and weight, etc., etc. Got true or false, and then return in the compiler output is going to return a true or false, and then it's going to tell you, hey, it's going to give you the error code. And then this is the so the return value for testing. So when you run the tester, this is a method, puts this in there and allows it to get tested, and this is a method for checking the BMI for the standard people, or for whatever is put in. So let's go ahead and run. And then run. And that'll be all.